And as you all know that 52,000 Palestinians was killed so far in Gaza, with 10,000 other was completely disappeared so far because of their ethnicity as Palestinian. Every single human being or every single political commentator know that the Zionist movement, the Israeli themselves is the master scene when it came to the propaganda. Do you want me to remind you as Indian people, how did you military resisted the British colonial at that time? And they used to call you a terrorist people, not only terrorist, narcissists, and they use a lot of vocabularies to tarnish your reputation as Indian people. If we, under the Israeli occupation, the resistance of the Israeli occupation is legitimate and acceptable according to the international. Anyone took any hostages, you're gonna call him terrorist. It's fair enough. Israel is taking right now more than 12,000 Palestinians as hostages. More than 9,000 of them is under the administrative detention. We are ready to the two-state solution. We are ready to implement the international law. We are ready to implement more than 1,000 of the UN Security Council and UN General Assembly resolutions. Israel is not ready to implement any single one of it.
Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome back to StratNews Global. Today we are with the Ambassador of Palestine to India, Ambassador Abdallah, and we will be talking about regional issues as well as what is going on in his country. Welcome, Ambassador Abdallah, to StratNews Global. And let's start with, what do you think about the situation right now globally, especially in Middle East?
Thank you so much indeed for coming today, and allow me to start by paying the attribute and the very necessary and the very timely condolences to the Indian people, to the Indian government, to the Indian government, to the victims who lost their life a few days ago, and to wish them to live in the eternity, their memory to become forever. We are gonna remember them, and also to the whom is injured to a vast recovery and full and fast recovery. Indeed, it was a shocking for us in Palestine. We are enduring this type of killing based on our identity as a Palestinians, and our ethnicity also as a Palestinians. And as you all know that 52,000 Palestinians was killed so far in Gaza, with 10,000 other was completely disappeared so far because of their ethnicity as Palestinian. Again, my deep condolence to the Indian people, to India, to the Indian people, to everyone is suffering from this type of heinous attack all around the world. Very important to start our interview by saying something to at least to remember those victims and to send our very strong message to their sympathy message to their families and to the Indian people. Back to your question, indeed. Of course, what is happening, you mean during the last 567 days, which the Palestinian enduring a heinous, continuous military aggression, military attack by the United States of America. I'm not revealing a secret when I say the United States of America and Israel. This cost us, again, I already mentioned the same exact number, 52,000 of our innocent people was killed. The vast majority of them, or some statistics is talking about 75% of them, is women and children. Plus another 10,000 is completely we did not yet know where they are. Those people was disappeared. But of course, the vast majority of them is under the rappels. Also, it's very important to say that Gaza is nearly completely was razed. They are the Israeli occupation, the Israeli military officials is declaring their policy towards Gaza, towards the Palestinian people. It's time to complete the Ben Gurion job. Ben Gurion, who is the first Israeli prime minister, expelled 950,000 of Palestinians from their original homeland, Palestine, and converted them to refugee. I born in a refugee camp. My late father was born in our original village, Berga. So that they want now to complete, they believe that Ben Gurion was conducted a mistake because he did not expel them outside the entire or the mandatory Palestine, the historical land of Palestine. They are trying to do this, not only trying, they have a declared policy with the full support and declared even by the American president declared a war crime against the Palestinian people when he said that he gonna own Gaza by the right of America and the people in Gaza should be leave. Jordan and Egypt should take them as a refugee. It's a declared war crime. To do it, the Palestinians still very heavily, we the Palestinians very heavily rooted to our homeland, but unfortunately they are preparing the environment so that if you will not be expelled by force, you will find nothing to do it, and you will find no school, no health centers, nothing to serve you or to support your basic need in the life, so that you're gonna find them attacked already or demolish or destroy the vast majority of the infrastructure. Let me just also stress that this war is not only limited to Gaza and West Bank. They lifted the military gangs, those Zionist settlers, criminal military and terrorist military gangs. When we say terrorists, we should be very clear that if there is an accurate definition for the terrorist and the terrorist act, it should be Israel and the Israeli occupation and the Israeli settler is the only one that the only measurement, the only scale that we should take it to talk about terrorists. So that they in West Bank, they already launched a war, declared war in West Bank, in the refugee banks and the refugee camps in West Bank, I mean. So far, approximately 60,000 Palestinians was internally displaced. The vast majority of some of them, West Bank refugee camp was nearly completely destroyed in Jenin, Tul Karam, and other places. They already expelled the people from the refugee camps. They did not stop, of course, attacking the people in the villages. Tens of our people was bailed from their life approximately since the Trojan horse, because we should differentiate between October 7th as a factual issue, then they converted it to Trojan horse. Since Trojan horse or October 7th, more than 1,000 Palestinians only in West Bank was killed in the hand of the Israeli military force and the Israeli settlers. So that this is the situation, and there is a lot of, or tens of, not hundreds of reports talking about the devastating situation, the devastation situation that we, the Palestinians, enduring in West Bank and Gaza.
But there's also a narrative going around that this is all a propaganda, which is, you know, from the Palestinian side. So what do you say about that? And what is really the solution to bring this to an end? Because this seems to be an endless kind of a conflict going on. I mean, they say Hamas, Palestine. Israel says it's almost like, you know, they're comparing it to what is happening in Kashmir from the, you know, terrorists from Pakistan. So how do you compare, how do you look at this comparison and this narrative that is being created now?
No, when it came to the propaganda itself, we know that, and every single human being or every single political commentator know that the Zionist movement, the Israeli themselves is the master scene when it came to the propaganda. They are the godfather of the propaganda. One word, loud and clear. And let me just take you a bit back in the history before even the creation of the State of Israel. When we were there as a Palestinian with our, of course, Palestinian identity, Palestinian nationality, Palestinian passport, our Palestinian passport, that they used to carry it, to hold it, to travel all around the world. Their propaganda was, they carried the main slogan that dominate the discourse around the world. I mean, the Western world was land without people for people without land. Would you imagine they used to hold our passport, our Palestinian passport, travel through our airport, the Lid airport, which they call it later on in 1973, they call it Ben Gurion Airport. Ben Gurion Airport is a Palestinian airport. They used to carry out, to hold, to travel by our travel document, the Palestinian passport. Their nationality even was Palestinian nationality. Then they use our airport, Al-Lid airport, and to trade, they use our seaport, Haifa seaport. Haifa, the seaport, is still under the Arabic name Haifa seaport. But even though they used to say that this is a land without people for people without land. So when there is someone need to learn what's the meaning of propaganda, only one word and declare it's Israel, only Israel, and the Israeli occupation, of course, I mean the Zionist movement. So that when it came to the propaganda, they are the master, they are the godfather of the propaganda all around the world. But to connect, even sometimes to connect between what happened, there is the legitimate resistance of the Israeli occupation, which you, the Indian, exercised in 1857. Do you want me to remind you as Indian people, how did you resist, military resisted the British colonial at that time? And they used to call you terrorist people, not only terrorists, narcissists, and they use a lot of vocabularies to tarnish your reputation as Indian people. If we, under the Israeli occupation, the resistance of the Israeli occupation is legitimate and acceptable according to the international law. To connect it with any terror act all around the world, this is the exact meaning of the propaganda, that we cannot accept it. They are playing a dirty role, and I would like to raise my voice here, in particular here in India and other places. They are trying to connect what happened in India and other places, of course, around the world, with something related to a religious issue. They are playing a dirty and very dangerous game, because they know that there is a lot of sensitivity from all around the world when the issues came to the religious issue, or the ethnic differences between the people who is from the same exact nationality. So that they are trying to play this dirty game just to encourage some or one type of ethnicity against the other type. We should be very careful. We should differentiate between the real terrorist acts that is conducted, and the master scene in this is the Israeli occupation with their godfather, of course, the American, whom is conducting the ultimate terrorist act or war against the Palestinian people. And to differentiate also between, of course, I mean, to differentiate between the real terrorist act and the resisting of the Israeli occupation. Israel, the Zionist movement, is trying to play this dirty game. We are ready as a Palestinian to tell our story. Just we want again to have the opportunity to tell the people in India and everywhere, the screens should be open to us. It's not fair that the screens is open only to the Israeli ambassador and the other Israeli layers, whom is day and night is propagating and parroting the same exact false fiction narrative against the Palestinian people to motivate and to motivate some of the people from all around the world against their other belief when they against their other people in the same exact countries. It's very important. Again, when it came to the propaganda is the ultimate, the professionality of the Israeli and the Zionist movement.
So, India has always been, giving consistent support for the two-state solution and a peaceful resolution to the Israel-Palestinian conflict. But we are also, fighting a war against terrorism.
I'm not pretty sure why you connected the two-state solution. Then you said conflict. It's not that conflict. It's the Israeli occupation. This is not conflict. Conflict when there is someone is having can argue with the other about whether this is to me or this is to you. This is the conflict. We have a conflict. But what is the Israeli? It's called, according to the international law, according to the Indian official position, it's not a conflict, it's an Israeli occupation. One word and loud and clear. Just to say a conflict, this is to take a step back from the real solution. Then to say a two-state solution, then to connect it to the terrorism, again, it seems that we all, or many around the world, is still under the effect of the Israeli propaganda. Terrorist act is the Israeli occupation. Is there any other mean? If we want to start classifying that different type of terrorist act, if we want to have a clear-cut definition of terrorist act, will we start by saying any foreign occupation is a type of the ultimate or the top of the terrorist acts? Is the foreign occupation. This is the only way that we should start by defining that the terrorist mean at the very first stage the foreign occupation. And the only foreign occupation, according to the international law, is the Israeli occupation. So that if we took this as a principle, Israel is conducting a terrorist act long time ago. And let me also back to the history itself. Even before the establishment of the state of Israel, tens of terrorist acts that was conducted against the Palestinian people. Tens of terrorist acts. Just a few days ago, 10 days ago, April 9th, it was the 77 years that passed after the Deir Yassin heinous terrorist massacres against that was conducted on the hand of the Israeli Jewish gang. Let me also remind you and remind all the Indian people, two of the wanted terrorists, according to the British mandate, two of the very famous wanted terrorists, became an Israeli prime minister. Ishaq Shamir was a terrorist, wanted terrorist by the United Kingdom, and Begin himself. Both of them is a wanted terrorist. Then they became a prime minister of Israel. This is the exact meaning of terrorist. We need to sit, to clarify ourselves, to tell our story. Then we are ready even to argue. Let us at least have a clear-cut definition to the terrorist. If you not believe that the foreign occupation is the ultimate or on the top of the terrorist acts, then we need to have a real definition to the terrorist.
So what happens to Hamas took in some hostages? So why like that itself is what would you call that? That is also an act of terrorism. According to you, what would that be? I mean, they are holding hostages, right? Forget the propaganda. I am saying they are holding hostages. And we are not supporting the idea of people holding, any group holding hostages and putting the entire country on, putting the entire country in a situation like it's happening right now. I mean, who's responsible for that?
Great. So if anyone took any hostages, you're going to call him terrorist. It's fair enough. Israel is taking right now more than 12,000 Palestinians as hostages. More than 9,000 of them is under the administrative detention. Is this a terrorist act or not? Each one of them is subject to torture and in a daily basis, subject to the torture by the Israel. More than 47 of them right now is killed inside the Israeli jail. This is the exact meaning of terrorism. Our position as a PLO, as a Palestinian Liberation Organization, we already declared it 32 years ago when we signed Oslo Accord. Let us start all the time from the macro level. 32 years ago, President Arafat signed Oslo Accord. In Oslo Accord, we accept to build our state in only 22% of our historical land. Is it? Do you need us to pay more sacrification, or anyone can sacrifice more for the peace? No one can sacrifice more. Then the one who killed the peace was the current prime minister and part of his current messianic cabinet, which is when they killed and assassinate and inciting against Rabin, and he was killed in 1995. This is the exact meaning of who's gonna be sacrificed for the peace and who's against the peace itself. Then, how many settlement and settler was increased since we started Oslo Accord? This is the exact meaning of terms. But to start measuring as if the galaxy itself was started in October 7th, this is not fair. Without taking a deep looking, a deep analysis to the incubator, to the historical background, it's not fair. But we cannot just start focusing in October 7th. Then we're gonna neglect what happened in October 8th, October 9th. 567 days since October 7th, and every day hundreds of Palestinians killed. More than 17,000 children was killed. Do anyone take care about them? Or just we should back to October 7th and the 59 hostages? Yes, President Abbas yesterday declared himself very well. Give back all the hostages. It was a clear message from President Abbas, who is the chairman of the PLO. PLO is the sole and the legitimate representative of the Palestinian people. Our position was, and still and will continue, very clear. We are ready to sit to the negotiation table. Regarding the 59 hostages, they should not even be taken. This is our position from scratch. We are very clear in this regard, but we cannot take this an excuse for killing all of these Palestinian people. We cannot take October 7th again as an excuse to expel the Palestinian people. Many around the world is saying that nothing justified October 7th, which means that they want us to turn black eyes to what happened to the Palestinian misery that was started in November 2nd, 1917, when the United Kingdom issued the notorious and despicable Balfour Declaration. In this Balfour Declaration, they gifted our homeland, our historical homeland, gifted it to the Khazarian Jew. And I want to stress on the Khazarian Jew, because we should differentiate between the descendant of Abraham, Ishaq, Jacob, Israel, and the Khazarian Jew whom is converted, whom is not descendant and converted to Judaism 1100 years ago. In Balfour Declaration, United Kingdom, 1917, and there is no need to remind you, the Indian people, what was the role of the United Kingdom at that time in your country. They gifted our homeland to the Jewish people, to the Khazarian, to the European Jewish. Our misery was started there. 1914, we had been subject to a Nakba catastrophe. And in Nakba, the vast majority of the Palestinian people was expelled. The vast majority of the Palestinian right now is still living in the diaspora. 60% of the Palestinians is living in the diaspora. We did not have even our right to back to West Bank. They did not have the right to back to West Bank and Gaza. Tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of Palestinians was killed on the hand of the Israeli and before Israeli in the Jewish military gangs. Anyone remember all of those hundreds of thousands of Palestinians? Then you want us to turn back or to say that nothing justified all of this misery, all of this sacrification, all of this what happened to the Palestinian people did not justify the October 7th. And you should be very fair also and to say that, and on the same time, October 7th did not justify killing 52,000 of the Palestinian people. You should be very fair. You should be very clear in this regard. Otherwise, you are giving a blank branch, open check for the Israeli to continue this televised massacres. Again, we can differentiate and the PLO itself. We have a very clear-cut position. We choose to sit and the peaceful resistance to the Israeli occupation. Unfortunately, the Israeli occupation is day and day is became more entrenched in our homeland, in West Bank in particular. They are declaring themselves, they are declaring day and night that there will not be a two-state solution, nothing called a Palestinian state. It's a declared position. It's not a propaganda, it's a declared position. So that this is the point. But to blame the Palestinian what about the two-state solution? We are ready to the two-state solution. We are ready to implement the international law. We are ready to implement more than 1,000 of the UN Security Council and UN General Assembly resolutions. We are ready to implement every one of those 1,000 resolutions, or more than 1,000. Israel is not ready to implement any single one of it. This is the point. We need you in India to listen to us because we have our opinion in this regard. You might not agree with us, but at least there is 2 chapters in this book. There is 2 chapters in this book. One of these chapters, day and night, is propagating, and the vast majority of the Indian media screens is open to them. But no one, this is the second or the third interview that someone is coming to visit me. While I'm knocking all of the doors, please just allow us to tell our story. This is not fair.
India has been sending humanitarian aid and capacity building initiatives in your country. So
to my country.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what more what more can India do for you for your country and the people there?
No, India is not only helping us when it came to the capacity building, to the sustainable development issue. Let us be very frank. India, we have a strong history with India. It was starting even before the establishment of the State of Israel in 1947. Mahatma Gandhi was very clear. He refused the partition plan of Palestine. The resolution 181 was refused by India at that time, and he used to say that, he has a very famous saying that say that Palestine is belong to the Palestinian, likewise England is belong to the British people. So that it's very important. Then India was the very first country, non-Arab country, to recognize the PLO as the sole and legitimate representative of the Palestinian people. One of the very first country whom to recognize the State of Palestine in 1988 when Yasser Arafat declared it from Algeria. India, since the establishment of the Palestinian Authority, was beside us. India have a very strong, very clear position when it came to the international law, and they serve in the United Nations 8 years. India is fully supported our classical resolution in the United Nations. So that in the macro level, still India there, still India is helping the current government, and the previous government is supporting the Palestinian questions. It wasn't declared. But when it came to the micro level, because I used to differentiate between macro and macro, in the macro level, India is there, and India is doing a great job with the Palestinian. In the micro level, there is tens of projects, many projects that already implemented by the full support. I mean, Indian project in Palestine. We have, I think, a school called Jawaharlal Nehru and other. There is still other running project in Palestine. I used to communicate with Mr. Suresh Kumar, the chair of the WANA division, in His Excellency, of course, Suresh Kumar, in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in a monthly pace at least. Yesterday I was there, and all of the time we have a lot of communication. India is helping and doing a good job for the Palestinian people.
So one last question. According to you, what, in which other way can India help? Because we have already been giving a lot of humanitarian aid, and we have been helping, I think, in housing and pharmaceuticals, and we have been
many things.
But besides that, I don't think that there is any opportunity for doing business in Palestine, or there is.
Doing business, it's in a very complicated situation that we are facing, and let me be very frank. No one will go to Gaza to do business these days. Our main concern is to stop the American-Israeli war against the Palestinian people in Gaza, on Gaza, and the other concern is to provide. The first one is to stop the war on Gaza. Okay. The second concern as a Palestinian Liberation Organization is to provide a lot of humanitarian aid. I trust once this war stopped, this is not ceasefires, I mean the war on Gaza stopped, I'm pretty sure that India will be there. If there is a reconstruction plan, India will be there. And we will work, of course, with the Indian government to make sure that they will be there. I'm pretty sure that they will be there. There is many things from the Indian side that they can do it. And we used to call for, we need India to have a special envoy to the peace process. This is very important. This is India by the end of the day. We are not talking about any country. This is India. India can hang the balance. When it came to the political arena, and I was again there for 8 years, I know that when India decide, this means that India. This is something we should acknowledge it. India can hang the balance, and we need, and I trust that India can do something very significant in this. The first ever one to give me any order in my life to work was Ilan Halevi, the late Ilan Halevi. Ilan Halevi was the special envoy for Yasser Arafat. When Yasser Arafat wanted to whisper something, he used to call Ilan Halevi. Yes, to tell him, I want you to go and to say this stuff. Wow. Also because sometimes many is believing that this is a Muslim against Jewish issue, which is completely not true. We, the Muslim, consisted 97.5% of the Palestinians. So by default, it's coming like this. Likewise, you in India, when you start this revolution, the Hindus is consisting the vast majority of Indian. Could we say that it was Hindus against Christian Britain? No, of course. But the Hindus is paying the heavy price in this thing. For example, the other one here is George Habash. George Habash is the Christian Palestinian who launched or started Al-Jabha Al-Sha'biyya, Popular Front, one of the most military resistance. Yes, George Habash. Then here also, let me just show you something. It will be a very surprise to all of your viewers also. Here is the Archbishop Kabuchi. He is the first one ever to smuggle weapons to the Palestinian Liberation Organization or Fatah movement. Here is a rabbi. Rabbi Moshe Hirsch. Rabbi Moshe Hirsch is when we established the first ever government after the after establishing the Palestinian Authority. He was a minister in the Palestinian Authority. Wow. He's our minister. The late, of course, Rabbi Moshe Hirsch. When we talk about how much the Christians and the Jewish involved in our struggle, let me just show you another. It's gonna be a bit surprise to you all of these books. It's written by Jewish people, all of it, without no exceptional. Let me just show you something. This is the 10th about Israel, Ilan Babi. Ilan Babi is talking better than me he's defending the Palestinian question better than me. Ilan Babi is an Israeli and Jewish man.
Okay.
The Invention of the Jewish People, also written by Shlomo Sand. This is another very significant book, which is written by Ami Ayalon. Ami Ayalon is one of the chief of the security when it came to the security issues. This is also other books is written by Jewish people. This book was written about the laboratory Palestine, which is showing that how did they use the Palestinian people to test their killing machine. The Bible unearthed by also a Jewish man. This also, when I said the Khazarian Jew, this is very important, the 13 tribe. Even it was written by the Jewish people. This is of course, tens of
So there are a lot of books written by the Jews
to defend the Palestinian question.
Yes.
The outspoken persons in America, for the very outspoken persons is Jewish people. Who is defending the Palestinian question. I'm telling you but unfortunately we did not have the chance to tell this story to the people. All of you believe that this is a Muslim against Jewish, which is completely not. This is the exact meaning of the Israeli propaganda. No one will tell you that there is a lot of writers who is defending the Palestinian question. Jewish writers.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
It's
so
really
that
interesting.
I used to say, give us the chance. I can connect you all with Ilan Babi and all of these staff and all of these Jewish people. Talk to them.
Sure.
Yeah,
That would be interesting.
You did not need even to talk to the Palestinian ambassador. Talk to all of those. The question of Palestine ambassadors, Jewish people. It's not a matter against the Jewish, it's matter against the foreign occupation. You exercised this right long time ago. Don't tell the Palestinian not to exercise. This is a legitimate right to us.
I understand. Thank you so much.
Sure, anytime. Please, anytime. Sure.
Thank you, viewers. Please do subscribe to our channel and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.